John Wick Chapter 3, Parabellum. This stars again Keanu Reeves reprising his role as John Wick, as well as Halle Berry, Ian McShane, Laurence Fishburne, and is directed by Chad Stahelski, who also directed the first two, who is actually a stunt coordinator, stunt director, stunt man, who took the reins of this franchise, which is why the action's so fucking good. But this obviously follows on from the second movie after he has been excommunicado. Now, this franchise continues to deliver. Let's just start off with that. It really does. There's a lot of positives in this movie. This franchise surprised everyone by not only becoming a franchise, but by delivering that first movie. Because there was a lot of people that did not expect John Wick to be good. It was phenomenal. They made a second one, good again. And the third one is yet again good. Now let's start with the positives. There's a few, and the easiest one to talk about from the get-go is the action. The action yet again delivers. It is pinpoint, perfect action showcase, and it's awesome. It is like 90 minutes of 120. It's just action scenes, pure awesomeness of fighting, and it really shows that they give a shit about the action, and pretty much the action alone, which I'll get into because there are some negatives outside of the action, but the action you can't fault. I mean, the cinematography, although it's pretty basic for the majority of the movie, a lot of wide shots, because they're like, hey, why bother trying to make this look flashy with our camera work when we can just show you exactly what we're trying to show you without a bunch of cuts, without a bunch of fucking bullshit so you can't see what's going on. You always know what's going on in this movie, and that's why it's so awesome. And you can tell that Keanu's doing his own scenes, and it really shows because he can do these long-winded choreography battle scenes, and they just let them show it, and then bang, you get shown. And now, Halle Berry was awesome as well. She's a positive for the action and her role as well. She puts on some awesome action scenes. Her dog's a great plus in the movie as well. And just her scenes, I assume that she trained for, because there's a lot of wide, long shots that you just like, I don't think you could fake that. That looks like it's actually her, and kudos to Halle Berry for killing it. And I think I would have liked to see a bit more of her, because she's not quite as in it as much as I thought she was, and she was a really, really cool character. I definitely would have wanted more of her in this movie. Now, obviously, the action speaks for itself, and it knows exactly what it's going to give, and pretty much with this franchise, that's all people want is the action. I was in a cinema, and it was pretty much full. We had about 70 people in there out of about 100-seat cinema. I've worked there, so I know how many fit in that cinema, and there's about 110, I think, fit in that cinema. There were 70 in there, and that was pretty packed, especially for a random Tuesday night. That shows that this movie's getting tickets, and that's a really cool thing to go, and they're obviously just there for the action, and that's what they got, that's what you expect. There was also some negatives on the other side of the action that don't make the film bad, but you need these to propel the movie into something great, and I think that's the difference between the first movie and then the second and third, is these things. The story itself is very basic, the motivation is very basic, the acting is good for the most part. You still don't really have a great villain that can hold it together, that can propel your movie to the next step, because I think the villain was played by Asia Kate Dillon, and she just was very bland, kind of come up robotic. She has one of those weird voices. You'll understand what I mean when you watch this film. But it's interesting because you want to see action, so it's like, did they just take away the rest of the movie to give you action? And it's fine because it works for that, and you can't say the action movie is bad if all it is action and it's really well done action, because it isn't. It's really, really well done. I just would have liked some next step up with some acting. Keanu doesn't have really many lines again in this film, but that's fine. I think Ian McShane does a decent job. Laurence Fishburne does a decent job. I just wanted that next level on the villain. And just the story itself, I think, was a bit bland at times. That could have, again, propelled the movie. It wasn't bad. These aren't, I pin them as negatives. These aren't really negatives. They're more of like tweaks that I would have made to boost the movie up a few points. To me, it still has the same problem that I had with John Wick Chapter 2, was at the end of John Wick Chapter 2, which I will spoil because we're talking about the third one, so if you haven't seen the second one, sorry. With John Wick Chapter 2 at the end, he got excommunicado, as I said earlier anyway, but everyone got these texts saying, he's going to be excommunicated, you can kill him, and everyone in Central Park was like, I'm an assassin, and I didn't like that. I felt like it was a bit silly. And in this movie, they keep with that a lot of people are assassins. They're in public areas. Everyone just lets them fight, kills people, no worries. Or I'm just going to not say anything, or I'm going to try to kill you. Everyone wants a bit of John Wick, and I thought that was a bit too over the top for me, which is the same problem with John Wick Chapter 2 is that it's a bit ridiculous when it comes to that point of the movie. But saying that, this is a fantastic trilogy. I think they're pegged to do a fourth movie. It continues to deliver on everything that you want, and that's action, because the action is so hard to fault. If I was just rating the action, it's getting a 10, it's getting an A, but I'm not rating the action, I'm rating the movie as a whole, and for me, I'm not really an action fan as well, which kind of downplays the rating a little bit, similar to like Mission Impossible, where I can understand as a true action fan, it's easy to give an A, where I'm like falling to like a B+. Whereas this movie, again, I can understand a very high rating. For me, lower action fan, I think this isn't as good as the first one, but I think it slightly nudges the third. So I'm going to give John Wick Chapter 3 Parabellum a B. Thank you guys for watching my review of John Wick Chapter 3. Let me know what you thought of it in the comments below. Make sure you follow me on Twitter at the AceDavies, not the AceDavies, at AceDavies. It's there, it's on the screen, it's in below. You will find it. I tweet some stuff. The more followers I get up there, I'm going to start tweeting more. Just stuff that I won't really share with you guys on the channel, so make sure you follow me there. Make sure you press that subscribe button, keep coming back. You like, comment, whatever you want to do. But of course, guys, have a good one.